Hi, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. I'm Tom.
And I'm Maria. We're really happy to have you here today. Our podcast is all about learning English in a fun and easy way.
That's right, Maria. And today we have an exciting topic, reading English stories, tips for beginners.
If you're new to reading English stories, don't worry. We're here to help you with some useful tips. By the end of this podcast, you'll feel more confident in your reading skills, and we'll even teach you some new vocabulary along the way.
So grab a cup of tea, relax, and let's start this journey together.
Reading English stories can be a great way to learn English, but it can also feel a little scary at first, right?
Absolutely. Some stories might feel too long or difficult, and you may not understand every word. But don't worry, that's completely normal when you're learning a new language.
One tip to make reading easier is to start with stories that match your level. If you're a beginner, look for simple books or stories written specifically for new English learners. These stories use easy words and short sentences, so you can follow along without getting frustrated.
Another great tip is to read out loud. When you read aloud, you not only practice reading, but you also improve your pronunciation and speaking skills.
Exactly. And don't forget to take your time. There's no rush to finish a story quickly. Read slowly, and if you find a word you don't know, try to guess its meaning by looking at the words around it. You can always look it up later if you're still unsure.
Yes, context is key. Also, rereading the same story more than once can help you understand it better and see how much you've improved. Every time you read it again, you'll notice new words and ideas that make more sense.
Lastly, make reading fun. Choose stories that interest you, whether it's about animals, adventures, or real-life stories. When you enjoy what you're reading, it won't feel like hard work.
Those are some fantastic tips, Maria. Now, let's move on to learning some new words that can help our listeners as they read English stories.
In this part, we'll introduce 5 words from today's discussion and explain them so you can understand them better. These are common words you'll find in many beginner-level stories. 1 beginner explanation. A person who is just starting to learn something new. Example, I am a beginner in reading English stories, so I start with easy books. 2 confident explanation. Feeling sure about something, without fear or doubt. Example, after practicing, I feel confident when I read English stories aloud. 3 tip explanation. A piece of advice to help someone do something better. Example, Tom and Maria gave me a great tip to read simple stories first. 4 context explanation. The words and sentences around a word that help you understand its meaning. Example, if I don't know a word, I look at the context to guess what it means. 5 improve explanation. To get better at something. Example, by reading every day, I can improve my English.
These words are great to know because you'll often come across them in stories or in conversations about learning English.
Now let's create a short, simple story using these words we've just learned. Story. Sophie is a beginner in learning English. She loves reading stories, but at first she felt a little scared because she didn't know many words. One day, she found a podcast by Tom and Maria that gave her some great tips. Tom told her to start with easy stories, and Maria said she should read out loud to practice her pronunciation. Sophie followed their advice and started to feel more confident. Whenever she didn't understand a word, she looked at the context of the story to guess its meaning. Over time, Sophie noticed that her reading skills were starting to improve. Now she reads a little bit every day, and English is becoming easier and more fun.
I love that story, Maria. It shows how following these simple tips can help you improve step by step.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that with practice and the right approach, anyone can become better at reading English stories.
We hope you enjoyed today's podcast and learned some helpful tips to improve your reading skills.
Remember, learning English is a journey, and it's okay to take it slow. Be patient with yourself, and soon you'll see how much progress you've made.
We believe in you. Keep reading, keep practicing, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you learn.
We'll be back with more tips and fun conversations in our next episode. Until then, happy reading.
See you next time, everyone.